There's really two ways of living life. One is connected to the situations, connected to people around us, and the other way is distracted. Can you imagine in the life of Jesus some of the passages that we know and that we read in the Gospels and being slightly different? For example, when this man Bartimaeus, he was at the gate of the city wall of Jericho, and he was a man born blind, and he's yelling at Jesus, knowing that he is going to pass by. Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me. And he kept on yelling and yelling and yelling to Jesus. Can you imagine if Jesus just, instead of how we read that he stopped and healed the man, he just keeps going and ignores the yell. He doesn't even listen to it. And the disciples afterwards, maybe they ask him, Jesus, what happened? Why didn't you attend to this man? And he'd say, no, I was caught up. I was thinking on my next Sermon on the Mount or something. I was distracted with something else. Jesus lived a connected life. He lived very connected to people, to situations, to everything that was happening before him. And he invites us in the gospel today also to live connected. He says, watch, be watchful, live connected to the situations. And he invites us in this Advent season that we just begin to be attentive, to live in attention our lives, to be alert. Father Sebastian, a good friend of mine in the St. John Society, he's a man who is always seizing the opportunities that are before him. And once he lived in Italy for many years, and so close to Italy there's Medjugorje on the other side of the Adriatic Sea. And in Medjugorje Our Lady appears, and many people go there for confession, adoration, and just in pilgrimage. And so he was going once for his personal retreat for a whole week in the summer. And the way you go is on a boat. It's a beautiful trip. So you go through the Adriatic Sea at night on a boat. And so he went up to pray the rosary. And as he was there on the boat praying his rosary, this whole family comes and sits right next to him. And instead of turning around and keep praying his rosary, he started talking to them. So he met them, and they were a family from Milan. And they were going on vacation to Croatia, beautiful beaches over there. And so they were going to spend the whole week as a family. And Father Sebastian told them, you should really come to Medjugorje. What's in Medjugorje? Well, not much, but there's a lot of prayer, and it will be great for you and for your family. You should come to Medjugorje. Well, they say, we are going on vacation, so it's not on our plans. We have all our reservations. So they parted their different ways. But after 3 days on being on their vacation, they said, maybe we should really check out this place. This priest was so excited about it. So they left their vacation and went to Medjugorje just for a day. After they were there for the whole day, they spent the whole week. And they came back to Italy renewed. And after that, they gathered 10 families from Milan and invited Father Sebastian to preach a retreat to that group of families. So when we are attentive, many opportunities come our way. When we decide to live our lives connected to the world around us, there's many opportunities that come to us. That was the case not only of my friend Father Sebastian, but also, if you think of Mother Teresa and her trip to Calcutta, to her annual retreat, and how in the train station in Calcutta she encountered that man. And we know the end of the story, how she founded the order. And we know Fulton Sheen, who saw that need and that opportunity, and he was on live TV, and Mara Angelica founding EWTN, and so many other people who were connected to situations, and they were able to seize the opportunities around them that the Lord placed before them. Maybe distraction is not always such a blameless or harmless act. Many times it involves a decision to be closed off in our own worlds and maybe not being connected to everything that is happening outside. Some of us are more distracted and some people are more connected to others. But, there's a way of deciding for disconnection, for being distracted from what's going outside us. And so the Lord shakes us today and He says, watch, be alert. There's so many opportunities that I place in the world today. And I want you to be watchful and to seize them. Distraction does have consequences. When we live distracted lives, there's many consequences. The first one is missed opportunities for growth. We miss many opportunities for growth around us. The second one is people get hurt. And I say this by experience. And this is maybe a personal confession before all of you, but this past week I forgot my sister's birthday. I was doing so many things, but maybe not the right thing that day. So I remember the next day and I wrote an email trying to make all these excuses, and then I, cleared it all. I said, happy birthday, I'm sorry. I'm greeting you today and I will pray 3 masses for you. Made up for my mistake, But people do get hurt. Thankfully, she didn't get hurt. But people do get hurt with our distractions by being closed off to needs of people around us and situations around us. And another consequence is that we lack of experience of God because we are not listening so much to the daily callings of the Lord. And so we start lacking an experience of who God is and what He wants to do in our lives. So the invitation of the Lord today is to live connected lives. So why should we live connected? The first reading says that this world is the world of our Father. And this world is filled with opportunities for those who are attentive and are ready to seize them, to seize the opportunity in that moment. For the Lord came once 2,000 years ago, and He was unnoticed by all. Only Mary, Joseph, a group of shepherds, and a group of the Magi, they were the only ones who noticed that coming of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. And we know that He will come again, and that second coming will not go unnoticed. That will be in victory and triumph, and everybody will know. But He still comes today. And the only ones who notice those comings are the ones who are connected. The ones who decide to live their lives attentive, alert to the situations around them. So I invite you in this Sunday to a connection that is twofold. In the first place, being connected to God's daily callings in our lives. The Lord wants to speak to us, and He does so daily. He wants to guide our lives, and He does it quite directly many times, if we are attentive and ready to listen to His voice. A person shared with me that this last week, he decided to start all his days by going on his knees and offering his day right away after he wakes up. So he wakes up and goes on his knees and offers his day to the Lord. And he told me of this experience that is quite extraordinary, but I think it can become ordinary. He says that every day the Lord revealed to him something to do that day. Talk to this person. Avoid this situation. Approach this way. Call this friend. All these different revelations, very small, on what to do that day. And just because he would make himself available to what the Lord wanted to do that day through him. So that's my first invitation, to live connected to the voice of God, to His daily callings. For that we need to make ourselves available. But when we do so, He does speak to us. He renders open the heavens and He comes down and He does speak to us. And in the second place, connected to people around us, connected to those who are around us. And to be willing to go beyond the surface in our conversations and in our relationships with others. Also, this past week I was able to witness a great testimony. With the Newman Center, we play soccer on Mondays at the fields. And so a big group of us goes and we play soccer, and it goes for an hour and a half. And last Monday I saw one of the students, one of the girls, who doesn't really like soccer. And so I asked her, what are you doing here? And she says, well, I don't like soccer, but I like people. And so there's people here, and so I came. She likes talking to people. And so we started the soccer game, and of course she wasn't doing very well because she was talking to people. And so she got bored of the game and went to the next field where they were playing frisbee. And there she met two new people, talking to them. And after that, she invited them to study at the Newman Center. And after they came to study there at the Newman Center, she invited them to Mass. And they were struck after Mass at, coming back to God and being able to open their lives to God again. And all, from the soccer field to Mass and opening your heart again to God. And just because a person was able to be open to others, to live connected to people around her. So that's my second invitation, to be open to those people that the Lord places around us, to be vigilant and being connected with them. So how can we do this in this Advent season? Two things I would like to propose to you. The first one is negative, and the second one is positive. So the negative is to try to avoid distractions in this Advent season. And maybe make the resolution, what is one source of distraction in my life that I will try to reduce? Maybe not get rid of, because it may be very hard, but what is one source of distraction that I want to reduce? Just for these 4 Sundays of Advent. One thing that I want to reduce. I chose mine, and I'll see how it goes. It's checking my email once a day. So just, it's going to be hard because it's going to be less connection in a sense, but to be more connected with people around me. And so we'll see how it goes. But make your resolution. What is a distraction that you can reduce in this Advent season in order to be more connected to the voice of God and to people around you? And the second one, the positive one, is to offer yourself every day and make yourself available to the voice of God every day, to His daily callings, His daily promptings. In the bulletins, you will see more information about the Advent Challenge and the offering to do a daily reading from the Gospel and hear a daily reflection from Bishop Barron. So all that information is in your bulletin. And so if you want to take that as your resolution, you can do that too. But just make a resolution of something positive that you can do to make yourself available to the voice of God in this Advent season. We begin today, this Advent season, with a great calling from the Lord. Be alert, be watchful, live connected. Live connected to the voice of God, live connected to other people around you. The same Lord who came once is the one who is coming and the one who comes to us. So every Mass is an elevation of the soul, that we may meet Christ, who is also elevated in the Eucharist. So as we see that elevation, may we also elevate our hearts and say, "Come, Lord Jesus. Come to my life in this Advent. Come, Lord Jesus."